Get the gang right to the sight sex. Leave the fire and the roof styles stuff. On the grind like we're chasing the stars. From Millmore to Dew Valley, we've come so far. Talk about legends, yeah, we know the score. Ronnie and Bobby, we remember you more. From the highs of the Wembley fight to losing our trousers, still we ignite. Red and white with the pride, we're never gonna bow. Fighting like middlemen, hear the roar now. We're middlemen, we stand up tall. Through ups and downs, we give it all. From Millmore to Dew Valley, get the cake right to the sight sex. Leave the fire and the roof styles stuff. On the grind like we're chasing the stars. From Millmore to Dew Valley, we've come so far. Talk about legends, yeah, we know the score. Ronnie and Bobby, we remember you more. From the highs of the Wembley fight to losing our trousers, still we ignite. Red and white with the pride, we're never gonna bow. Fighting like middlemen, hear the roar now. We're middlemen, we stand up tall. Through ups and downs, we give it all. From Millmore to Dew Valley.
Good evening and welcome to Terrace Talk. I'm your host, King Bush. We're going to be celebrating a victory tonight, so it's going to be a positive podcast. We've won a game at home, so that's really good. I've got Bez with us tonight. How you doing, Bez?
Good evening, everyone.
Good. And we've got Tom as well. After a very impressive first show, he's here with us for a second time. So we've got quite a few people in the comments. Up the Millers. You know what time it is, Joshua, good friend of the show. John, get Hall a lifetime contract. Yeah, he's had a good first game. No problem with that. So true. So yeah, we've got a lot of people already in the chat, so positive to see. Obviously, we've got quite a bit to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the injury crisis as well that's hit the club. I have put a poll out on Twitter, so we'll go through the results on that. And obviously, we're also going to discuss the alarming drop in attendances as well, which I feel we need to cover tonight, as I believe it's one of the lowest attendances we've had since I think it's the lowest we've had in League One as a league fixture. So that's very worrying. Why are people staying away? Obviously, we're going to discuss predictions from last week. Bez should have the results of them, I'm hoping. And then we're going to do predictions and a bit of a preview for the game ahead against Wimbledon. So we'll start off with a 1-0 victory. Fantastic goal from Hull. I'll start with you, Bez. What were your thoughts on the game? I think we're all in agreement on man of the match. I don't think that was ever in question, the man of the match.
Yeah, well, obviously, I'm not going to say much different from what I said on my post-up review. It's a 1-0 win. I know a lot has been said about the strength of the opposition, but you can only beat what's in front of you. You know, it's not Rotherham's fault. It's not Matt Hamshaw's fault that Exeter was so poor. Rotherham deserved to win. You know, it wasn't a lucky 1-0 win. I felt Rotherham deserved to win. And I felt that the majority of the players played well. And it weren't just one standout to me. You know, as you said, everyone's going to rave about around Tom Holmes and how good he was and what a great debut. I thought there were other players on pitch who were equally as good, to be honest with you. You know, number one for me, Dan Gore. Now, Dan Gore, if anyone noticed, he actually dropped deeper. You know, he wasn't playing that number 10 role. He was playing like a deep line playmaker role. And I thought he was excellent. You know, a lot seemed to went through him. Tom Holmes was passing a lot into the midfield, into Dan Gore, who were getting the ball forward. So, yeah, it weren't just Tom Holmes for me who played well. I felt there were a few, Dan Gore included.
Yeah, Tom, what about yourself? Who stood out for you? Obviously, you was quite critical when we signed Tom Holmes, but obviously, I think he answered the SAS call at the weekend. He was colossal at the back for us.
Yeah, like I say, I'm happy to be proven wrong about everything. Tom Holmes on Saturday against an incredibly poor Exeter City was great. Was really good. It was good. I mean, he effectively made the first goal. That direct pass straight into Hall, who flicked it onto, was it Rafferty, I think, and then he put it in the box. Their defender tried to clear, and Hall smashed one in. That wouldn't have happened without that pass from Mr. Holmes. Having said that, Tom Holmes plays. We've got him on loan from Luton Town. Luton Town are in the same league as us. And let's just say Tom Holmes becomes our stalwart best defender that we've got. Come January, he's going to get recalled. So that's something to keep an eye on. But do you know what? Having said that, great victory. He was definitely man of the match. And I take everything back about me sitting on the fence saying I'm quite underwhelmed about him. He did a great job.
Good. Joshua, honestly, Go could have been up there for man of the match, but yeah, Holmes, they were immense. Yeah, I think there's a few that knocking on the door for the man of the match. I thought Coletta played really well. I thought McWilliams had another quality game. Dan Gore, I mean, I love the kid. We're never going to sign him permanently. Let's be real about that. I just can't see that happening. But he is an absolute baller, and while we've got him, I think we've got to look after him. Kelly, 4 bobs. McWilliams was excellent too. Yeah, just explain that. McWilliams again. He just had something different, Tom. I think he technically is not as good as a Dan Gore, a Powell. He's not got that technical ability, but he offers something that no other midfielder we've got gives us, and it's that rough, aggressive, in your face. He's a Rotherham United player for me. That they're the type of players that growing up, Tony Grealish, players like that, they get stuck in, and you know you're in a difficult game. Talbot were the same when we had him. Not the best technically gifted, but they do a job for the team. And I think when we don't have Williams, I think our midfield gets run over because we're too lightweight without him. I think for me, McWilliams is probably the first team name on the team sheet for me. What do you think, Bez?
Well, I agree with everything you said. He's a runner. At the end of the day, he's surely a runner. I mean, let's face it, we've not been spoiled with good players who have played well this season. So when someone comes in and shows a little bit of desire or grit, they are going to get noticed. So I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but I simply think he's just that runner that we've needed in midfield. He's an engine. He gets from one box to the other box, and I think that's why when he's not playing, we do miss him because we haven't got that. I know Kelly. He's turning 40 soon, so his legs have almost gone. Joe Powell's not really that sort of player. He's like someone who likes to create. We even admit Dan Gore's a creator as well. So we haven't got that role in the squad. Now, the concern for me, and I don't want to turn into a negative, is that at one bit it looked like Hamshaw were going to get rid of him. He was nowhere near the starting lineup, and he was about to go out on loan. And obviously came into that first game, I think it was the Wigan game, and he was excellent. And I do wonder if he did not perform well that game. I wonder if he's still here.
Yeah, I mean, from the information that I got, there was already a loan deal agreed for him, but then a couple of injuries happened, and they didn't allow him to go out until we got a replacement in. We didn't get a replacement, so he ended up having to play him, and that's been again, like I think on Saturday with the tactics, more luck than judgment from Hamshaw. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think he's thought, oh, McWilliams is absolutely fantastic and he's going to fit in and he's going to do a great job. I think it was forced upon him through injuries within the midfield department. He's actually then performed that well, you can't remove him. Same as Saturday, the tactics weren't working again until Tete got injured. We brought Rafferty on and the tactics seemed to work better with a different formation. But he wouldn't have played that formation had Tete not got injured. So again, is that more luck than judgment? I don't know. I'm obviously highly critical of Hamshaw. But again, same as Tom said earlier, happy to be proven wrong. We're all Rotherham fans. We all want to see us win. We don't want to watch us team lose every week. Another point, a good question here from Joshua. Honestly, Hugo had a game and a half as well, and I wonder why. So, Bez, you wanted to have a bit of conversation about Hugo's performances, so I'll let you take the floor on that one.
Yeah, I guess I'm really annoyed with the situation, to be honest with you. So, if you were to go online now and look at social media, there's quite a lot of Rotherham fans who admit that they dislike Hugo, and they were all saying, he had a good game, he ran about, he did well on Saturday. But at work today, I had a Rotherham fan, and I'm sure he'll watch this because I'm forced him to watch it. And he were arguing with me, saying he thought Hugo were really poor on Saturday, and nothing. He didn't seem to offer anything to the side. And what does frustrate me is that I think you've got some fans at Rotherham, and we might all be guilty, so I don't know. But we've got fans at Rotherham where they make a decision on a player that they don't like him or he's not very good, and regardless of what performance he makes, what performance he gives. They're always going to slate him. If he scores 15 goals this season, which he won't, they're wanting 18 goals for him. There's always a negative against him. I just wish, and I might even say all three here. Sometimes I wish that we did get behind our players a little bit more sometimes. And I think Hugo is that player. When he went off, he got a standing ovation, and the crowd were singing, Hugo, Hugo, Hugo. So he must be liked by the club. So I don't understand why half of the fan base are always against him. And it just frustrates me. And that's why I wanted to mention him. I don't want to talk about Hugo every single live stream, but I'm just getting to the point now where there's certain fans and it's like they want him to fail. Like you said before, Lee, about, fans wanting Evans to fail so they could get sacked. It's a little bit like that, and it just winds me up. And that's why I wanted to talk about it today.
Yeah, for me, I think because he's got... It reminds me of when we had Kevin Watson. Fantastic player. Absolute baller of a midfield player. However, he wasn't a Rotherham-type player. He was more cultured. He was a bit more cultured on the ball. Same as Jordan Hugill. He's not, although he is a big burly number 9, he is a bit more of a, he's played in the Premiership. He's played at Championship level all his career. He's got a little bit more skill about him than just a big target man that's going to run around like an headless chicken. Rotherham fans seem to like that type of player. Little ability, as long as they run the heart out for you, the Rotherham fans will back you. I think also what goes against Jordan Hugill is he's got a high wage. So he drives a nice car. He's on good money. And I think the green-eyed monster comes out in Rotherham a lot. I've seen it personally.
If I said to you, right, then if you look at Rotherham, right, so in our lifetime, Rotherham's best position, really, we're 15th in the Championship under Ronnie Moore, which were early 2000s, right? Everyone would say in the last 30 years, everyone would probably agree that Alan Lee's probably our best ever striker in that 30-year period. I'd go as far as saying Hugo's actually number 2. Now, people would argue Michael Smith, and I think that's a fair argument, but if you don't include Michael Smith, I can't see it with anyone else. For that 6 months that Hugo were here in the Championship, which kept us up, he was excellent. So I'd go as far as saying he's almost the second best player I've seen at Rotherham. Second best striker at Rotherham, not player.
If you offer me...
I would say Mark Robbins would be up there personally.
I know, but that was League One. So, I agree with you. And a lot would say LaFondre, but you can't compare because both of them, and then Lewis Gravin, all them players were in League One and League Two, whereas Hugo actually performed in the Championship. Yeah, he only performed for 6 months, and then I think it was 2 months the following season because he did score that goal against Southampton, which were class, the goal against Preston, which were class. So he had a good 8-month spell. But I don't think you can think of anyone apart from Alan Lee as a striker who you could say is better.
I think Freddie Ladapo, he gets a lot of stick, but I think he was quality players in the Championship.
Great shot.
But this is a genuine thing, what I'm going to say now. So if you give me Michael Smith tomorrow, I can have one player for next season. You give me Michael Smith, or you give me Jordan Hugo. I take Jordan Hugo all day of the week. I think he's a better player than Michael Smith. And I'll stand with that point every day. I think ability-wise, I think he's a better player. I think if you give him the service, he will do the job. We don't give him the service. That's the problem. Joshua Caswell, what annoys me is everyone slags him off, but he gets no service, and we expect him to win every header. That's it. He'll be humbled. The haters on Saturday as he dominated the Exeter defence on Saturday, and I think he did. They couldn't handle Jordan Hugo. I mean, even the shot where the keeper saved it, he held off the defender brilliantly. And it was composure. It weren't like you wouldn't get Michael Smith having that kind of composure in that area. He held him off, got the shot away. But like you say, he does get a lot of stick.
But the one thing that'll go against him, and this is a fair comment, is that he's not scoring goals. And look, a target man is not there to score loads of goals. Normally, a target man is your second striker who will get you 10, 12. The concern is he don't look like he's going to get 5 at the minute. So I do agree that is a concern.
Other than Nombe, who looks like they're going to score more than
no one. Yeah, no one.
What this side reminds me of, which is quite worrying, attacking wise, it's like we're playing in the Championship again, but we're not in League One. And that's my worry, is we're not dominating teams, we're not creating loads of chances like you would expect us to do at League One level. I expect these performances, especially for away from home, where we used to get beat every week in the Championship. You kind of expect it. But the reality check is now, listen, guys, we're in League One here. Why are we sat back defending away from home and going to places like Stevenage for a point? We want to be going down steamrolling them.
Here's a question, Lee. Exeter City on Saturday, did they remind you of what Rotherham were like in the Championship? Is that what you're going to say, Tom? Is that what you start to say, Tom?
What I was going to say is that, right, we can get involved in this hype about us winning the game 1-0, right? I looked at the league table. They're actually ahead of us on points. They're on 9.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
Honestly, they are, over the last 3 years, the worst team I've ever seen play us, right? And we only won 1-0. We only won 1-0. The only decent player for Exeter was that Whitworth in goal, right? If it wasn't for him, it would have been 4-5-0, right? Even to us, I was comfortable watching it, right? I was watching the game, and I was like, I used to... Watching Rotherham, you're like, oh, God, we're definitely going to concede. Do you know what? My anxiety levels were low. I was like, these ain't going to score. These are rubbish. And we only beat 1-0 at home.
You can't... what I would say is that you can't just... Look, yes, on Saturday, Exeter were terrible. I guarantee they don't play like that every week. So, you know, I said it in my post-match, and I'm probably wrong, but that's just me, because when you do a post-match, you do it after the game, you know, you're kind of reacting straight away, aren't you? And your emotions are quite high.
Yeah.
They're not Exeter City are a lot better than that, I'm telling you. So I wouldn't go around and say,
they would go down.
So again, sorry, Lee.
In your post-match, what we posted out, you did say you think Exeter.
I know, and I'm kind of going back on what I said because like Tom's right though. Before the game, they were like 10 places almost of others and about 4 or 5 points of others. So they can't be that bad. If they're ninth in league, they can't be that bad. It was probably just a one-off game. And I actually disagree with Tom a little bit, right? Maybe we actually played that well and stopped them playing. We can't just every week say, "Oh, Rotherham only won this game because of how poor Exeter were." Rotherham stopped them from playing, didn't they?
Yeah, you can only beat what's in front of you. I've just gone through some comments. We've got quite a few comments coming in. Yeah. Ladapo was okay in the championship. Kelly, 4 Bobs, Hugel and Smith, totally different types of strikers. Joshua, don't get me started sitting back at 1-0.
I'm not sure we sat back at 1-0, to be fair. I don't know if I agree with that.
FC for life. Hi, everyone new to the channel. Guess who team I support? Clue in my name. So I'm guessing you support Port Vale. So you've got a Port Vale badge on there as well. So welcome to the show. Thank you for watching. How did Port Vale do at the weekend, actually?
They lost, didn't they? I'm sure they got 3-2.
I thought they do all right, Port, because I liked Darren Moore. I think
same. That second half performance were excellent against Rotherham. Absolutely excellent. They lost 3-2.
How is Humphreys playing? Just drop it in the chat. Let us know how Humphreys is getting on. We did like him at Rotherham. Obviously, he chose to take a different career path and.
He decided to take a step down, Lee. He decided to take a step down to Port Vale.
Yeah. John, Exeter played a back 5, by the way. Port Vale bloody conceded last kick of the game against Leyton Orient to lose 3-2. Leyton Orient.
They're funny side, Leyton Orient, yeah.
They are. John Fellows, Exeter probably perform as good as we do away, maybe a bit Jekyll and Hyde. So Exeter are poor away from home like we are. But for me, Matt Hamshaw's after-match reactions were a bit concerning on saying, I think we're going to have to look at a different way of playing away from home because we're not picking up any points. Well, no shit, Sherlock. None that weeks ago, mate.
Yeah.
But
maybe that's a positive because maybe that means he's going to stop being defensive and go a bit more attacking. That's what he might mean, that.
Or he might go even more defensive and play 10 at the back. Who knows?
Right.
Humphreys is not bad, not seeing any star quality, just a decent defender. Yeah. I think with Humphreys, I think he's never been the same player after that last injury he had. I don't think he ever got back to the form he did when we were playing in the Championship. I remember when we won away at Sheffield United, I thought we're going to get 5 to 10 million for this kid because he was outstanding that day, but he had a bad injury and I don't think he's ever really recovered from that. I think he seems to have lost a yard of pace with it as well. So that's taken quite long, so we need to crack on with the player rating. So we're going to run through these pretty quickly because we've got a lot to discuss tonight. So I'm just conscious of we're already sort of nearly 25 minutes in and we haven't even started player ratings yet, but we will crack on with them. So I'm going to run through them. Unless there's anything sort of major, we'll just accept the score and move on. Obviously, the ones we want to discuss, we will. So Dawson got a 6 out of 10. We're happy with that, guys.
Yeah, nothing to do. Yeah.
I'm with you on this, Fez, though. He is getting a lot of stick again at the weekend, but he had nothing to do. How can he be fault for anything?
The only thing I would say is, and it does wind me up a little bit, is his kicking's not very good at all. Like when he kicks it long, he always goes other side of the pitch away from Hugel, who's the target man. So based on that, you could give him a 5 just because his distribution were 4. But agreed, I can't even make a save. He came out for a couple of crosses and he handled them okay. but I don't remember him making a save.
Rotherham Gaming still shit. Gives him a 6. Joshua 5 at best. Doesn't command his box either. So
And I agree with that. I do agree with that. He doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just a he's never going to be a world-class goalkeeper. I think he's just a standard League One keeper. And for the money we pay, I don't think we're getting much better or much worse for the money we pay for him, to be honest. Zach Jules, he got a 6. Do we agree with that, guys? People in the comments, everyone agree with a 6?
I do, yeah. Again, just average for me.
It didn't do anything wrong, didn't do anything spectacular. Reece James, a 6.
Yep, fair.
Again, yeah, just average, yeah.
So this is going to be contentious for you, Bez, because I know you don't like your 10s, but Holmes, the fans have given him a 10.
Wow.
I'm going to, do you know what? I think it deserves a 10, and I'll tell you why. Because when it's your first game for a new club, that's a difficult game at best. And he not only was he excellent, like not only did he tackle and defend and win every single header, but his distribution, not just for the goal, was superb. He played a lot of balls into midfield where you watch him and he's looking to play it out wide to fullback. And he reverses it into midfield. Did it 4 or 5 times. I was more impressed with his distribution than I was with his defending, to be honest.
Yeah, Bez, that's where I'm going to. We'll go on to tweet of the week later, but somebody does mention that in the tweet of the week. I think his distribution contributed to the first goal. He was absolutely. So normally, and that's where Rotherham have failed for season after season after season, is we're not composed on the ball at the back. So the ball comes straight back. Our defenders kick it back up. They kick it, and it's like long ball stuff. But with him, he's actually cultured, confident on the ball, and he'll play it out. He'll look for the pass. He won't look just to hoof it anywhere. And that's what I was really, really impressed with. And to what Tom says, we need to be looking to say to them now, we're taking full time. Give him a small offer for him before he starts having game after game where he's doing well and we can't afford him and they take him back. Because that could be the problem. Yeah. Everybody's hearing, I think this is aimed at you, Bez. So John Sullivan's gone for a 9.98. Can't get 10s. Can't get 10s. Joshua Holmes has given 10, literally won everything.
Yeah.
Kelly organising at the back line very too. That was another thing. So his organisation power as well at the back was really impressive.
He was constantly talking.
He had an interview and he said he didn't really like that side of the game, and that worried me when I heard that interview. But actually, I think he was just flagging us because he seemed to conduct the back line really well.
Just on your point about signing Lee, what I would say is, look, he was superb on Saturday, but would you really want us to go and sign him now after one game when he's injury prone as well? I'm not sure, personally.
I'm not sure. I'm just saying we could find ourselves in a position if he's not going to cost much money, and he fits. Sometimes players fit into certain clubs.
Agreed, yeah.
And I felt like he fitted into that defence like he played in that defence for the last 5 or 6 years. He come back like a captain. We've had Rafferty, and he's not done that. Raggett, he's not done that since he's been here from day one. And he was signed as the big defender that they're gonna lead the club, and he hasn't done it. This kid's come in one game. He's won the man of the match by a country mile. But it's not just about what he did on the football pitch. It's about how he talked to his back line, his distribution. It wasn't just, he headed everything, which he actually did. Every ball that come in that box, his head was on it. And surely that gives the defence much more confidence.
It does, Lee. But as I go back to my point, right, he had a great game. I certainly wouldn't be rating him 10 out of 10 because the opposition we were playing, because I thought they were pathetic, right? I would have given him an 8 out of 10. He was clearly the best player on the pitch, but against mediocre, substandard relegation fodder, to be honest with you.
I know, but Tom, I'd argue, sorry, though, that, as I said, what happens if, what do you find if Holmes was the reason why they were that bad? You know, because you're basically saying there that whenever we play a full side, you'll never give a 10 out. Is that right?
I think 10 out of 10 is, to get a 10 out of 10, right, you've got to score a hat-trick and assist 3, right? And keep
the striking, yeah.
Yeah, so a 10 out of 10 it's described on the is world class. It's a world class.
Exactly. Was it a world class performance? Yes, he created the first goal. No issue with that. I was proved wrong about being underwhelmed by his signing. No problem with that. 10 out of 10, not having that, right? He made it good ball. He won his duels. He won his battles, right? Wimbledon Saturday, right? He could make a mistake and get a 4 out of 10, right? I think we just need to calm down just a little bit, right? The fans, as it were, because at the end of the day, as I said earlier, Luton in January could just recall him, right? And then we're up, we're buggered.
You don't have a definite though. We don't know what the contract is. To be fair, you assume that's the contract. Well, you don't know.
One would imagine if you're trading with a League One club in the same division, you're gonna have something in there that says we can recall this lad if he's doing well for you.
But I would say that the reason, because you know before the show you were questioning why Luton let him go to a League One rival. I think the reason is because Luton have been in the Premier League in the last 2 years, so their wage bill will be 50 times more than Rotherham's, and they had no choice but to get rid of him on loan, and he won't go to a League Two side. So I think they had no choice.
But let's just say that we are, let's be in dreamland here. Let's say that we're 3rd and they're 7th. They ain't going to punish us. They're going to recall him.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, yeah.
Yeah, go through a few comments. So Kelly agrees with Bez, I think. No, let's see a couple more games before going for him permanent. John Fellows, Raggett doesn't kick another ball for the club for me if we keep the other centre-halves fit. Yeah, I agree with John there. I don't think he gets near the team. Mersgarth, wow, defender can't get 10 out of 10 then.
Yeah. I'm going to say, do you know, I remember Al getting some slack on the first show because I didn't give someone a 10 out of 10, and Tom's a lot worse than me, yeah?
No, he's got high standards. That's what we want. That's what we want.
Nobody should get a 10 out of 10.
Jonathan Sheard, Holmes is a real leader, captain material. Thought he showed the passion in a centre half we need since the Swales and McIntosh days. Yeah, that's a good thing. A good comment from Jonathan Sheard. I think
didn't Peterborough make Kioso captain? Peterborough made Peter Kioso captain, didn't they?
Yeah.
Look how that ended up.
Yeah, he didn't sign. But he's back there. Is he back there now?
No, he is. I didn't realise he must have stuck back on deadline day because I looked at the Peterborough lineup and he was there on Saturday. Yeah.
So Jonathan Sheard was saying that with McIntosh. His performance reminded me of a Martin McIntosh. How cultured he was on the football. How he led the line. I know it's hard to say. It's one game. Yeah. Next week, like Tom's saying, we need to chill his boots. Next week, he could be getting skinned by Wimbledon defenders. We lose 3-0 and we want him sent back to wherever he's come from. But as first games go, I can't tell them my eyes aren't lying. He was quality for the first game. I've not really seen him before that.
No, neither had I. And like I say, he proved me wrong. I said last week I was incredibly underwhelmed, but it's the first game. He'd done a good job. He'd made a forward pass, bang! It created the goal, and he was solid. And he looked passionate. However, as you said, Lee, Wimbledon, right? We won't lose to them because they're crap, right? But he could have make a mistake, and then everybody be on his back again. I think we just, like you said, Lee, chill his boots, let the lad play, see where we go. Hence why I've never given anybody a 10 out of 10 straight away.
Yeah. John Fellows, didn't Luton bring a Dauphin to replace Holmes? Yes, they did. So,
well, not sure about that, but okay.
You're not sure?
Well, if Holmes was going out, they'd have released him, surely, not loaned him out.
Port Vale for life. Where do you expect Rotherham to finish this season? Well, I've said I expect us to be in the playoffs at the very minimum, and if we're not, then I think we've got problems for the manager. Bez, where do you think we'll finish?
Yeah, I'm still sticking with mid-table, like 12th. I think I said around 12th last time. What I would say is I've kind of changed around the quality of the squad. I do think the quality of the squad now is better than it was when we did the predictions, like for the first game of the season. So, and I think if you had the right manager, I think this squad would finish in top 8. I really do.
Tom, what about yourself?
I've always said from the very start of the season, with the players that we've got, I believe, and you know what? I'll say it now. I think that we will finish in the playoffs as long as we carry on the way that we're going. With this formation, change it up to a 4-3-3. We need a bit of luck. Injuries are a problem, which I'm sure we're going to come on to shortly. But I want nothing less than playoffs. Anything less than playoffs is a disaster, personally.
Yeah. Joshua, 14th, he thinks we'll finish. Kelly thinks we'll finish 10th. Are you guys saying we don't have the right manager?
I'll let you answer that, Lee.
It's a difficult one. I don't think it is fair to fully judge him until we've played sort of half a season. I don't think you can say we haven't got the right manager after 6 games. I think he's making mistakes, big mistakes. I think he's made mistakes a lot this season, which worry me. Do I want him to turn it around? Yes. Do I want Rotherham to win every game? Yes. So do I think he's the right manager? I didn't want him the first time. But if he proves me wrong, I'll be the happiest man alive. I'm not going to sit on the fence and say, I wanted Matt Hamshaw. I don't think he's qualified for the job. I don't think he's got the winner's mentality. I want to be proven wrong. Bez, what about yourself? We don't sit on the fence here, mate. We just say it as it is.
So my fault. I didn't want Hamshaw in the first place, and I've gone on record and already said that a few times on this podcast. I agree with yourself, Lee, though, that he's only had 5 or 6 games. I mean, can you really include the 4 games he had last season? I'm not really sure. I'm still unsure myself. The thing with myself is I like to have a manager I can fully get behind. The way they present themselves, the way they talk in the media. Like, that's why I love Steve Evans, because he always thought on his sleeve. He said it how it were, and I just love that type of manager. Now, that doesn't mean that with Hamshaw it's going to fail. It just means that I prefer those kind of more eccentric managers. And Hamshaw is not that at all. He's more calm. He's more calculated. Do I think he will succeed though? If I took my house on it, I'd probably say no. I'm afraid. I think he's going to struggle. Unfortunately, I just don't think he's got enough experience as a manager to kind of turn this around, if you like. Because obviously we're struggling at the minute. So unfortunately, I think no, he's not the right man for the job.
Tom,
right. Caveat, I'll always say this, hope and prove wrong, but absolutely not a chance in hell, right? Hamshaw succeeds as our manager. No chance. As Bez was saying, right, Steve Evans, apart from Ronnie Moore, was my favourite Rotherham manager, right? Evans had a bit of... do you know what I mean? He sort of bought into what he was saying.
A winner's mentality.
Yeah.
He had the mentality. He had the mentality lead, didn't he? Right. I'll
Yeah.
tell you something
So
right now.
every manager that I've loved at Rotherham have had that. Neil Warnock,
Exactly.
Steve Evans,
Ro-
Ronnie Moore. They're my favourite three managers.
Aye, exactly. So, but when I'm watching the interviews, I was like, well, you know, it's just a process. The lads are trying to gel, blah, blah, blah. Injuries. Now, I don't want to hear that. Stop talking about injuries. Just say, right, we're going to get at them, right? We're going to have a go. Let's have it, right? Bit of personality. It's because it's Matt from Rotherham, right? And do you know what? On Champ Manager 0102, Matt Hamshaw's a good player, if you ever play it. But other than that, I think we need just a bit more personality. The personality is not there. And you know what? Like I said, I wish the lad will succeed and prove me wrong. But from what I'm seeing from interviews, media, the loving that he gets from the Rotherham Advertiser, the other fans and all that sort of stuff, it's all like we're desperate for you to succeed. I'm desperate for him to succeed as well, but there's some point we have to think, will this be possible? I just need a bit of passion from my manager, to be honest with you, because at the minute, we won 1-0 and I was like, oh, great.
Kelly's put what mistakes? So obviously we're going to go into that regarding the injuries. So for me, giving contracts out to players that have never been fit, giving contracts to young players that have ended up at Brighouse Town or wherever they've ended up.
Exactly.
Things like that, they're where he's made the mistakes for me. Again, allowing late signings, taking half a team to the pre-season tour, virtually scrapping pre-season and not having a pre-season, and then we've lost games that we should have not lost because of poor tactics and the wrong formation, in my view. Simple, get stuck in and pull out of challenges will drop you. Simple. Joshua Caswell. He's learning as a manager, same as all the backroom staff. They will not hit the target on the first season. Well,
no, but I'm sorry, Lee. Right, whoever put that there, you shouldn't be. You learn as a non-league manager, not as a League One manager.
Yeah, for me, you've hit the nail on the head, Tom. So if he was not Paul Warren's big boy, if he had no connection to the club whatsoever, he doesn't get the job. He'd be lucky if he got the main manager's job on the qualifications that he's got. Okay, that's just fact. He was never ever going to get a bigger job than Rotherham. He's lucky to be our manager, and he needs to deliver like any other manager. So everybody's happy to call out Steve Evans when the team weren't performing. Fantastic. They didn't perform, call him out. But you do the same for this manager as well. You can't have it both ways. You've got to treat the managers the same. Yeah?
That's
from Rotherham, we're going to treat him differently. Yeah. Not a chance. He wasn't even a Rotherham fan. I'll argue that till the cows come home with anybody. He was not a Rotherham fan.
So are you saying, Lee, then, because I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but are you saying then, if Steve Evans had been given, to bear in mind, last year was really poor under Evans. I know we all love him, but it was really poor. If we'd have given Steve Evans almost a full 2 years, would you have then been happy to say, I'll tell you what, I'm sure deserves these 2 years because that's what Evans got? Is that what you're saying?
Sorry, say that again, Ben.
So I was saying, so if Steve Evans had been given 2 years, right, altogether, and he still failed, right, after 2 years, are you saying that you'd be happy to give Hamshaw 2 years because that's the same time as Evans? Or are you still saying that both managers should have...
Any manager gets 2 years. It's like everybody's saying about, they're not all Matt Hamshaw's players. You name me what football team can sign a full new squad every season. He's had 13 players. He's signed 13 players. That's enough to get your identity on the football. It's not my fault as a manager. you've signed nobody good enough to be captain, because you give the captaincy to Rafferty, who was signed by Steve Evans. You give the captain yesterday to Powell, who was signed by Evans. So out of them 13 signings, you've not got anybody that's good enough to be captain of our football club. I'm sorry, but the same people want to slag Jordan Hugill off. You've signed nobody better than Jordan Hugill, so he's got to play.
Yeah,
because out of your 13 signings, nobody's better than Jordan Hugill, because Jordan Hugill can keep fit and he's playing. So it's rubbish. It's absolute cop out that you can say it's not his team or these are not his players. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. If you sign 13 players, you can only put 11 on. All of 11 of his signings should be on that football field, because they should be better than what he's already got, and they're not. Fact.
Yeah. I'm only asking that because obviously, we all have the same opinion with Hamshaw. So I wanted to try and ask, because there are fans out there who think, and they've said it on this chat, that he deserves some time. So I wanted to ask you the question, that's all.
Yeah, no, that's facts. Good question. Got quite a lot of coming in.
Should we go back to ratings, Lee? You've done them yet.
That's what I meant to say. He's not ready. I'd say not, John. You've had a bad start to the season and in a bad league. So that were in response to John's question saying, has he not learned anything from Paul Warne? Paul Warne, who's had the biggest budget in League Two and is in mid-table with MK Dons. So if you're learning from him, you're in trouble. Matt Hamshaw has totally changed the landscape of the club, developing young players, creating assets for the football club, etc. So my question would be, who has he developed? Who?
Well, I think basically it's not Matt Hamshaw, is it? It's Rob Scott, isn't it? I imagine.
Rob Scott's signed, but who has he coached through that have gone on to do anything?
Well, I think you mentioned it before, Lee. We've sent, is it Richards, and is it what's the other lad called, Clark? We've sent them to the fucking 14th division for practice. I can only assume. My daughter's going to play them next week.
She's trying to. Kelly's trying to say that she's trying to say that we've brought players in who Hamshaw is going to develop. I think that
that's what she's
right. I see what you mean. I see exactly what you mean. Right. So these players that we brought in, I'm assuming they're on about Hall and Martha and Agbear.
Yeah.
Who else?
Which is right. These players are young and do the developing. So Matt
Hamshaw's not found those players. Rob Scott found them.
So
Holland and found them. So whether Matt Hamshaw was manager,
or not, point and then not offer them a contract and leave for free.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
But the thing is, whoever was manager, we were getting them players anyway because he scouted them for 2 years in Holland.
Indeed.
So if Steve Evans
I do agree. We don't know exactly how it works with the recruitment. To be fair, like I'm hoping. I don't know if it's the case. And Lee, you might know. You've got contacts in the club, but I'm hoping that whoever we sign, the manager has some sort of say, and I'm hoping that's the case because I'm always someone who believes that. I don't understand that you can bring a player in when the manager doesn't know who the player is because he's the one who's going to play the player.
No,
so I think that he's found his players, Scott. I agree, but Hamshaw has looked at them on video or whatever and said, "Yeah, I think he looks good. I can develop him."
There's obviously a discussion between the recruitment.
Yeah, exactly. There will be, won't there?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm of a genuine opinion that Matt Hamshaw has had no say in any of the players we've signed.
There you go. Look, no one actually knows, and if that's the case, then I think the club's doing it wrong then. Because
I think he has got a say. I think basically what happens is, Rob Scott will scout a list of players, and he will go to the manager with that list of players. And then the manager will say, Yeah, I'm happy to take that player. I'm happy to, because he'll probably have a list of attributes. It'll not be players as
correct.
but attributes of what you're looking for your style of football. And that's why when Steve Evans came, I think that went out the window. I think Steve Evans just picked players he think could get us promoted. It was more short-sighted, but that's what the chairman wanted. You can't just blame all that on Steve Evans. That's what the chairman wanted. He wanted instant promotion.
Let's move on anyway, Lee. Let's move on.
Yeah. So on to the next one was Powell, who scored a 6. He was captain. I think the captaincy is weighing on him a little bit. His delivery was atrocious at the weekend. If I were Jordan Hugel, I'd be going absolutely balmy, because some of them balls he played, he thought he was David Beckham, but he got his boots on the wrong way.
I still say the same point I made last week, where I know it's frustrating when any player who takes a corner hits the front post. I know that, but the reason they're doing it is because they are trying to get the perfect delivery. They're trying to whip it in and trying to keep it as low as they can, so then when it's whipped in, someone can attack the ball. So I'm sure there were some balls on Saturday where he did actually get past the first man, to be fair to him. But a 6 is fine. Like, he was the only midfielder who didn't really get involved in the game, I didn't think. So 6 is totally fair.
Powell can't deliver my kebab right. Game.
I like that.
I do like that one. Kelly, 4 bobs. Sorry, chaps. Great conversation. Could go on all night.
Yeah, no, don't apologise. Don't apologise.
We're for honest chat. Sometimes you won't agree with us, but what we'll give you is pure honesty. We've got no sort of links to the club. We just give an honest opinion on what we think as fans. I don't tell any of these guys what to say, what to do. They're their own people. Sometimes they agree with me. Sometimes, like most people on Twitter, they think I'm a twat. But it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? That everybody's entitled to opinion, and we give everybody that. Port Vale for life. I'm loving this podcast, lads. No worries, mate. Thank you for coming. And we might do a Port Vale watch along as well. They're a good club, Port Vale. They're an old-fashioned club, and they've got a good fan base. To be honest, I think our set pieces are all set up wrong. So we'll move on to Powell 6. I think we're all agreeing he got about 6. Yeah.
Just quickly on the set pieces, I don't know the answer if that's right or not. But the fact that we've not scored any goals from set pieces would suggest that's correct, what Josh was saying.
Coletta, he took a knock. He got a 7. I thought he was a bit better than a 7. I'd probably give him a 7.5.
I don't think. I think he was better than an average score of 6. I think a 7's fair, personally.
Yeah, a lot of the chat gave him 7. Joshua 7. So I think they're right with that one. Hall, he scored. He got an 8. Agree with that?
He scored the goal, didn't he? So fair enough. Yeah.
Dangor an 8.
Just on Hall. Because everyone's spoken about obviously Holmes' pass. No one spoke about Hall's flick. I mean, when did we get players who could flick it like that into an on-rushing fullback? Class that.
Joshua Hall should have a 9, and Gore should have a 9. Gaming says an 8. I mean,
Gore for he's a 9 as well. I agree with you, 9 for Gore.
Yeah,
I would give Gore an 8 personally, because I think he as I've said to you both, he will. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. He will get recalled by Manchester United in January.
Why?
He will end up at a Championship club. Why? Because he is levels above, to quote Lee, levels above.
Right. I think he's a very good player, but his performances don't show his levels above.
No, because if you know, I think, Tom, if you know, you know. Sometimes he plays balls that our players don't even read. Like, there's levels to it, yeah? our players' movement is just not on his level.
No.
For me, that lad will be playing in the Premiership or top-end Championship football.
That's why I think he'll get
opinion.
recalled in January, Lee. He'll get recalled 100%, and he'll get sent to somebody like West Brom. I guarantee it, or Sheffield United, someone like that.
Yeah. So before I said this score, I was actually shocked that he got this score. Jordan Hugill, what did you think he got? In the comments, tell me before I release what the fans give Jordan Hugill. You tell me all what you think Jordan Hugill got, because I was shocked at this.
Well, he did get a lot of praise on social media. But then again, I did say at the start of this podcast that a lot at work, he was really slating him. And he says that everyone around him in the ground was slating him as well. So, Joe, what this score could be anything. Based on what you said.
Port Vale Steve says 7. Kelly Bob's 8. Has to be at least a 7. So he got a 7. Now,
I get him
Jordan Hugill, we've been doing these player ratings a bit now, and he averages at around 4 and 5. So for him to get a 7, I'm actually happy that the fans have some people have actually stood up and thought, actually, he has done something there.
Do you agree with a 7? Do you agree with your 7 then, Lee? Because obviously, I know you're a big Hugill fan, so do you agree with that?
I think a 7 were fair. I don't think he did anything what he shouldn't be doing at that level, at a level of a player that he is. He won his headers. He led the line well. Didn't score, so I don't think if you're a striker, if you don't get an assist, you don't get a goal, you're probably struggling to get above a 7 anyway.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. Rotherham Gaming says 9 and he's the GOAT. I'm a fan of the Rotherham Gaming. Good lad.
It is amazing, like how split Hugill's opinion is. You know, you're not in the middle. You're either a lover or a hater.
I think people are coming with me now. I think people are getting on the love wagon for Hugill. Hugill used to play for the Mighty Vale. I heard a rumour that there was interest in him in beginning of the season as well. I think they tried to sign him, but we didn't let him go at the time. I reckon he will score the goals. Once he scores 1, they'll come like butters.
Hopefully.
So on to the next one. Another injury. Etete, he got a 5. I think that's about right.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
Sean McWilliams got an 8, which again I kind of agree with that. I think he did quite well. The subs all got 5s and 6. I don't think we need to go through all the subs because we are running short on time.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Which obviously brings me on to the injury situation. So, Bez, I have put a poll out. I'm just going to have a look at it, but you tell me what your thoughts are on the injury situation while I check out what this poll is. I
think at the start of the podcast, the question you was going to ask was, are we being unlucky or are we causing it ourselves? And I'm going to give you like a politician's answer, and I'm going to say it's a bit of both. I do think that the head of whatever his name is, sports science, Ross Burberry, I do think he is probably running into the ground too much. Now, I know, Lee, you were on about on previous shows and the one before this podcast, you were saying that he apparently didn't sack from Huddersfield because he was pushing them too hard, their players. I'll be honest, I've had a look. Before we went live, I had a quick look to see if I could find an article on why he left Huddersfield, and I couldn't find anything on the internet. I only had a quick look, to be fair, but I couldn't find anything. But it does seem like they are pushing him a little bit too hard. One thing I would say, though, is, let's face it, we've had injury issues now for 3 years, because when we had Matt Taylor, and I don't know who the Ross Burberry equivalent was then, but I remember defenders like Sean Morrison, Daly Wright, all these players, Lee Peltier, all these players were getting injuries. So I actually don't think it's just a modern thing. I don't think it's just anything to do with
them players.
what's happening now.
What the ones you're talking about? There was all over the.
To be fair, they were only examples that I could figure off my head. I still think like Ogbenny got injured as well. Ogbenny was injured for like 7 months, weren't he? So what I'm trying to say is I think it's a long-term issue. Like, look, I'm not saying that Ross Burber is helping, but it's a long-term issue. And I actually have more question marks about the training ground. I want to know if it's the training ground that's causing these injuries. Because let's face it, we get a lot of injuries on the training ground. And that's what's the worry for me. You know, if you're playing a game and you get kicked and you break your leg, you know, you can't help it. It's really worrying that they're getting these on the training ground. So I'm more concerned with the training ground than I am with Ross Burber.
So the pre-show fan poll, are injuries bad luck or poor fitness management? 19% said it was poor management, 19% said it was bad luck, and 62% said it was a bit of both. Yeah. So I think they're going with you on that one, Bez. My thing is this Ross Burber, he was apparently sacked from Huddersfield as the chairman was fed up of the injuries with the same sort of, because they're not impact injuries. We're not getting players that are colliding, they're going down from running. So for me, that isn't impact injuries. That's where you get the bad luck. The managers brought him in. Derby couldn't wait to get rid of him. They got rid of him as soon as they sacked him. He went with all of them. Huddersfield have already sacked him. I don't think he's cut out to be managing professional footballers' fitness. I think he's creating more problems than he's doing. We don't look. Are we scoring last-minute winners? Do we look fitter? Not really. We just look like we're patched up. I mean, Coletta was one of them as well. That they said he wasn't injured, but he come off because he was exhausted, which is mind-boggling when we're 5 games into a season. I just don't think that's an acceptable thing. He's exhausted. I mean, why is he exhausted? Yeah. If they're training them that they're exhausted to play for match day, that's not the right training. Even with professional boxers, they do rigorous training, but they don't come to fight night and they're exhausted, do they? No. They come in prime condition. It's a worry. Go through a few more comments. Not wrong with the training ground, chaps. We've spent a fortune on the pitches in the last 2 years. Yeah,
sorry, just I do agree with that, by the way, because I do know we spent money. I'm just the problem we've got is none of us actually know the answer. We're only surmising. We don't really know, do we? To be fair.
Yeah. To be fair, Coletta is still a kid. Yeah, so he should be fit. I mean, at his age, I play 5 games a week. It's not pre-season. You should be fine-tuning between games, not running them into the ground. That muscles or fatigue come game day. Exactly, Yoki Gamer is spot on there. We shouldn't be. It shouldn't be happening. And for me, we've got a lot of players on that injury table, so something needs to change. And obviously, Matt Hamshaw said at the weekend. I think he said that he's gonna address it. But yeah, I think everybody thinks it's probably a bit of both. But for me, I don't think when it's all hamstrings and muscle pulls, I don't think that's bad luck. I think that is just poor preparation, and that's where I put it on the manager, because he's hired the staff to get his team fit, and they're not doing it. What sort of injuries are they getting? So muscle, sort of hamstring injuries, all that type of stuff. Being worked too hard. Yeah. Last question here. What do you think of the Vale fans when we come to you? Go on, Bez.
They were good. They were very good. I mean, it's easy to be good first game of the season after you've won promotion, but they were good. I'll tell you what, Fort Vale were better than Stoke. There's one for you.
The fans better than Stoke?
Yeah, fans are better than Stoke.
There you go. So, on to we're building a team around youth. I just want to cover on this quickly as well. So there's a big focus that Matt's trying to build this team around youth and the youth setup at the football club. We are running out of a category 4 academy, which is the lowest you can get at football league level. We have sent Josh Ayres out to Cleethorpes Town, Kane Richardson to Brighthouse Town, James Clark to Brighthouse Town. Does this prove the academy is a broken pathway? These players are not ready, but we have actually put them in our match day squad. Some of these players have had minutes in the league for us. What's going on, guys?
Go on, Tom. I'll let you answer that one.
Right. So I think personally, sending them to these clubs, having played for the first team or been named in the first team squad. Lee, can you tell me what league are Brighthouse Town in? What
I think it's Brighouse, by the way. It's Brighouse Town, not Brighthouse.
Brighouse, whatever.
Yeah, Brighouse, yeah.
Brighouse, Brighthouse. I think it's sort of Maltby Main standard, possibly.
I mean, seriously. So are we saying that our academy talent, right, ain't good enough for non-league North? Because if that's the case, forget about them. Forget about them. Right?
And that's why I said most of our youth players, including Coyote, should never have been offered contracts. They're not good enough.
Why?
So, like you've said, we've signed players from Cardiff on loan. We've signed players from Luton on loan. Nobody is signing our players on loan in our league, or even League Two.
Not even League Two, Lee. Not even League Two. Not even. I mean, who's the worst team in League Two at the minute? I've no idea. Right. I live in Scotland, right? So I'm 20 miles from Carlisle. Right. Why are Carlisle United not signing our youth? Right. Why is the National League Premiership, never mind North and South, but then 2 levels below that, I believe, maybe even 3, 4, 5, not signing our players? Why are we sending them? But I seen the caveat today, the other day. Was it Richardson? Oh, Richardson will still be eligible to play in the Virtue Trophy. What's the point in that? Why is he not playing National League at the very, very least? Why are they going 7 stages down our pyramid from League One to play?
I just don't see any. I don't see any benefit to it whatsoever
at all.
And I think it just highlights the fact that these kids are not going to be good enough. Unfortunately,
no, they're not, Lee. They're not. It's fact. Although I did like that Clark and Richardson the other night. I thought they were playing all right.
Yeah, I did like the Clark, but we've got to be getting them League Two loans. So that's poor management by the club. Why are they not being able to get them at a League Two, or you say National League at the top end of National League? Mate, and then it's proper football with proper demands, with proper fans watching the game. Get them stuck in.
National League's a good standard, Lee. National League's a good standard.
Richardson were highly regarded at Newcastle. We don't have our under 21s either, do we? No, we don't. And we don't even play in a reserve league.
I think the question you got to ask is it's a simple yes or no, really. So our youth academy, albeit is terrible, has produced the odd player here and there. You know, Ben Wiles has come through. Actually, my favourite all-time Rotherham player has come through it as well. And this is the reason why I loved him, because he's the only one I think has come through our youth academy and gone on to cost like £1 million. I'll let you try and guess that one later. So the question is, who? No, not Wiles. No. someone else. Now,
I know it is. Chris
you
Bedrick.
should know this as well, Lee, because right, a bit of cheating. We actually signed this kid as a 14 or 30-year-old from a Nottingham team as well. I'll give you a minute to think about it. Now, striker though, William Hoskins. I can't believe he didn't get Hoskins. Yeah. Anyway, so the question is like, so we don't spend a lot of money on the academy, so it might not be worth anything at all. But would you get rid of the academy and whatever money that is there, you'd save and put it to players, or would you keep the money in the academy because it's not a lot and just pray you get a Ben Wiles every 3 or 4 years and Hoskins every 3 or 4 years? What would you do?
I would personally invest more money in the academy.
I like it.
If I was to buy the club tomorrow, what I would do is I would build a purpose-built training facility, and I would invest any transfer money I'd got into the academy to make Rotherham the hotbed for young talent. So we don't lose young lads to Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United. You get all the best young talent, and then that, as a football club, will give you your money back plus double if it's done right.
Agreed.
And that's where it should be. We should have an under-21 squad. We should be playing reserve team football. These players should have a clear pathway to the first team, where loans are already pre-structured, where they're going out to League Two teams, top-end nationwide teams. And when we're in the Championship, they'll be going to League One clubs, League Two clubs. They won't go to the drop to the champ. You won't even let them play in that level. Yeah. But at the minute, we're a Category 4 academy. It's just not going to work. There's no investment in it. Right, finally, because we're coming to near the end of the show, thank you to everybody in the chat again. Absolutely fantastic. I could be here all night. This is how much I enjoy this chat with you guys. So it's been a really good show, and I'm struggling to get everything that I wanted to get into in the time. The last thing I just want to point on is our attendance at the weekend was 7,699. Where have these fans gone, and why? Why are they not coming to the stadium anymore? Is it down to the ownership? Is it down to the football? I don't know. Quick question. Tony Stewart didn't invest in the academy when he bought the club 17 years ago. Nobody did promise that he would. He bought the land at Brinsworth, and then he built houses on it instead of turning it into a training ground. So that didn't provide fruition. So he hasn't invested it, unfortunately. Keep and invest in the youth new recruitment team. It's been a great show. Same as Vale. So I don't think they are producing players. Tom's having a few internet issues. He's spinning around in the far corner.
Just go on, say just on the attendances then, Lee. I guess you've probably answered your own question, really. We've had this podcast for 6 weeks, and every single podcast we've been quite negative about the style, about Matt Hamshaw, about the club in general, Tony Stewart. It does seem like fans have started to get fed up. Now, what I did find interesting about Saturday is our attendance has never normally dropped below 8.5K, and that's because we normally have 6K season holders. So what concerns me is now that it has dropped below 8K, is that because our season ticket sales have gone down? I've not seen anything from the club to say this is how many season tickets we've sold. So I just wonder if we've lost 500, 1,000 season ticket sales, unless you know yourself.
No, I that's why I put the question out there. Kelly says it must be holidays, cost of living, and we've been shit. Fair play. I mean, for me, I just think it's purely down to the football that's on offer. I mean, the cost of football now, like Joshua just said, you weigh that up, and are you getting value for money? With the way the performances have been, we haven't. I mean, we're happy here tonight. I think we want to talk all night about a win, but it's one win against Exeter. We should beat teams like Exeter anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many guys do you bring away? So Rotherham actually do have a good away following. They do take quite a big following away. A majority of the home following do go away, but not as recent. I think even the away attendances have dropped off this season. I just think people have sort of had enough of it. I didn't renew because I work continental shifts, rather save my money. Match day experience is shocking. And that's another thing as well, the match day experience at the club. When I've gone away to watch Rotherham, I bring to fruition when I went to Reading, I think it was, and all the outside entertainment they've got there at half time and different stalls you can do and stuff to do for the kids. There's nothing at Rotherham. It's absolute garbage, isn't it? The entertainment.
Well, they have like, again, you're right. This is sums up. If you walk to the ground, they have like it's literally just a tent, and they call that the fan set. What's it called? Miller's fan zone. That's it. Yeah. And honestly, it's pathetic, really. I mean, what I can't understand with Rotherham, and I'm not sure if Stuart did pharmacist as well, is why is there no bar on the ground? Like, it's a brand new ground. It's still got concessions that aren't used in the stadium. Why is there no bar on the ground? Like, I can remember going to Walsall and speaking to their fans, and they were saying that club they had on their ground earned them £1 million a year. That's what I got told. So I don't understand why we hadn't done that.
I think he's come back. Has Tom come back? Jonathan Sheard does a good one. So the England game was on as well. Yeah, no worries, mate. We've got you back. The England game was on. The Rotherham show was on, and inconsistent performances, he believes.
Yeah, I think the Rotherham show is a good shout, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, I didn't realise that was on as well. So
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know until I got to the floor, and my mates, he brought his daughter and the grand were there, and they were going to Rotherham show. That's the reason I knew it were on.
Run by fossils. Joshua says.
Yeah.
Even National League have better fan zones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I will say. I was at a game last year. A couple of years ago. It was Carlisle v Peterborough. We had hospitality. And I'll tell you what, Carlisle, to be fair, right, they have these fan zones, and it was absolutely incredible, to be fair. The team was crap, but I mean, Carlisle, they did a good job. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at Reading, I went last season, watched Rotherham, and they're outside the stadium in the home bit is absolutely fantastic for their fans. They had bands on, they had a big screen outside where you can sit, have a beer, and watch the highlights of the games. They've got all entertainment going on, face painting, all sorts of stuff going on for the kids. Loads of different food stalls, so you don't have to go at the concessions just inside the little walkways, because it's all opened up. It's a big area, and then they have all sorts going on. And we're just missing a trick as a football club. And the daft thing is, our chairman is tight and he loves his money. They're losing a killing because it's going to make the club money. You know, all these things. You sometimes, as a football club, if you invest, it will look after you. Yeah, in business, you invest in that business, you reap the rewards later down the line. Yeah, not late, but later down the line. So if we invest in the youth academy, it'll bear fruit later down the line when you're selling a player for £5 to £10 million because he's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? But we're not going to produce it out of a Cat 4 academy. I'm sorry, you're just not going to do it. Need to get that guest and crime sorted out and make it a proper experience. It's an eyesore.
Well, it's turning into a hotel, aren't there?
Yeah, it's going into an hotel, but why have we got empty units in the corner of the stadium. Like you said,
That's
that
what I
should be
said,
made
yeah.
into a proper fan zone where they could make it. I mean, there's a bit further down in the hospitality bit. When I went to the hospitality, just to the right hand side, there's another bit, and it's got like a table football thing. It looks like somebody out of the kindergarten's made it up. It's not like, I mean, you got to remember, it was only a couple of seasons. We were a championship football club.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
We run appallingly behind the scenes, and that does need to change. And that's where sometimes you have to say, how many managers can we blame before the real question is have we got the right ownership at this football club? Because Scott went, Richardson went, Warren, we've had all these managers. There's only been, under Tony Stewart, Paul Warne, Steve Evans, Neil Warnock that succeeded. The rest of them have lasted. I mean, Kenny Jackett, how long did he last?
3 games,
Alan
wasn't it?
Schultz. You know what I mean? So something's not right at that football club within the ownership model. Obviously, we can't change that, but that is what it is. So we're coming to the end of the show. Thank you for everyone watching. The numbers of live views as well as keeps going up. So it feels like we want to talk forever, but I'm conscious these guys have got the families to get back to. But I've really enjoyed tonight's show. Everybody in the chat have given great contribution as well. If you can like the video as well, it does really help us with the algorithms. I'm not used to all this, but apparently that is really good. If you like it, if you can share it and subscribe as well. If you're not already subscribed, that'll be a real help to us. We will be live again on Thursday for our Premier League show, where we discuss all the Premier League with all our Premiership fans. Kelly, take care. Thanks all. Yeah, Kelly made some real good points tonight. Port Vale for Life. Glad the channel is growing. We'll share your channel with my subscribers. Have a good one. Thank you. And Port Vale, when we play you next, the next home game, if you want to come on for a pre-match show with us, we're more than welcome to have you on, and you can give your side of it. And then after the game, we can do an after-match reaction with you from your side of it as well. We are always looking to improve the channel as well. So if there is anything, people that are watching that think, wow, we should do this, we should do that, drop us a DM. We're happy to try anything. We're a fans channel for the fans. That's the only way we do it. We're not, I don't need to do this. I'm not here to do it to make money. We're just here to do it for the fans, really, to give some. Obviously, there was another sort of channel where people wanted us to do a channel that's a bit more sort of real and honest. So that's what we've done, and I'm glad people are enjoying it.
We are still looking. Go on, sorry, Lee. Go on. I was going to say we are still looking as well for Rotherham fans to come on and be guests on this. So if you if you fancy it, then just give any of us a DM and we'll get that sorted.
Yeah, like I said, obviously Jonathan Sheard, I've known Jonathan a long time. He's been in the chat as well. He's welcome to come on. I do know he goes all over with his family watching Rotherham all over the country. I do see him pop up on socials when he's at the game. He goes to every single game, so he's more than welcome to come on as well. More the merrier. So with a positive win this week, just before we go, I want to do as quick predictions for the... Oh, Bez, you should have the results of the last predictions. Who won it? You haven't got it, have you?
I've not got them. We'll have to come back to that. I've not got them.
Let us down, man. Yeah. Stat up. Right. So we'll go on to the predictions for Wimbledon away. So I'll start with Tom. What's your prediction? It's an away game. Bear that in mind.
Of course, it's an away game, and I actually invited the Wombles of Wimbledon to come on to this show, but they never even replied. So stuff them. So I'm going to go Away, Wimbledon, 3-0. Rotherham, up with the Millers.
Wow.
Go on, Tom. That's positive there for you.
Tin Pot, Wimbledon.
Shirts gone 3-1 Saturday, Rotherham at Wimbledon, a win. John Sullivan's gone 3-1 Rotherham. Joshua has gone 1-0 Rotherham. Go on, Bez. Keep this positivity. Pretend it's not away.
Josh Coyote 1-0 like last time.
If it was at home, I'd definitely go for a win. But I'm sorry, I'm gonna go a draw 1-1. I can't see him winning away.
Life has also said 0-0.
I'll tell you what, I will go a Rotherham win if Tom agrees to give Holmes a 10 out of 10 for Saturday.
Right. Okay. So if you say if I agree to give Holmes a 10 out of 10 for Saturday, you'll give a Rotherham win.
Yes, that's correct.
Nah, not doing it, mate.
So
what more is there?
Nobody.
I'm going to go 1-0. My boy Jordan Hugel header, 92nd minute. Bosh, get up there, my son.
I'm pretty sure, Lee, you've had Jordan Hugo scoring winner every week.
He's got to score. He's got to score.
I'll tell you one thing about Hugo, what I would say to spend on is, for how much people have a go at him, that guy is never, ever injured. He's always available and plays every game.
That's what I'm saying, Bez. That's what I'm saying.
Well, remember last time, lads? Coyote scored the winner against Wimbledon.
Say that again, sorry?
Coyote scored the...
He did. Yeah.
Coyote scored the winner, 1-0.
Yeah. Yeah, so most people, other than Bez, Bez has been a killjoy tonight, but everybody else has got us winning. He's a brick shit house, and I fucking love him.
That Hugo, yeah.
Yeah. So listen, do you know what's going to happen? I'm going to set a merch up I'm going to set up a merch channel with We Love Jordan Hugel t-shirts. And they're going to go and we're going to sell them. Okay? So I'm going to get a Jordan Hugel fan club going, and Rotherham is going to be turned into loving Jordan Hugel.
That'll be class, that.
Yeah.
Hugo.
And then that'll go alongside the statue of me and Ronnie at New York. It could be a statue of me, Ronnie, and Hugel.
Hugel, yeah.
You know what I mean? Ronnie the most loved, and me and Hugel the most hated.
Yeah.
So go the perfect Hugel shirt, bush it, I'll DM you.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, DM me, and we'll get something up.
To be fair, Lee, before you go, I have got a Rotherham shirt from 2 years ago with Hugo on back. Promise you, I've got it. Number 10, Hugo.
So when he scores next, Bez, you've got to wear that on the live.
Okay, will do. I'll wear it backwards as well, so you can see Hugo on the front. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So thank you again for watching. We are going to be live on Thursday for the Premier League show. We will probably be doing a watch along for the Wimbledon game as well, with it being away from home. So if you want to tune into that, you're more than welcome to. Watch me have a meltdown if we don't win, because I do get quite emotional when I'm watching football, as the Doncaster fans really enjoyed sending reruns of me getting angry at Donny beating us. So probably it is what it is. But hopefully you'll see me happy, because we'll win 1-0 and Jordan Hugel will score. Thank you again for watching. And like I said, we'll be back at 8 o'clock on Thursday. Cheers, Tom, and cheers, Bez, again for a fantastic show. And thank you to everybody that's subscribed. And up the Millers.
Up the